वर्चुअल नेटवर्क तो आज हम लोग थ्योरी करेंगे। वर्चुअल नेटवर्क इज ए लॉजिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ योर ओन नेटवर्क. It is also just like a private cloud only for you, and you can also extend your Azure Virtual Network to on-premise data center. Subnet is a logical division of your network. It is a smaller part of your network. And in a single network, you can create multiple subnet. हर एक सबनेट का आईपी एड्रेस रेंज चेंज अलग अलग होगा. All subnet should or must have a different IP range. Like here you can see subnet 0 10.1.0.0/24, subnet 1 10.0.1.0/24. This is a 2.0/24. This is a 255. So every subnet have a separate or different address range. You can create a virtual network. You know how to create. Just go to the portal, click on create virtual network, then give your subscription name, resource group name, name of your VNet, name of your region, IP address. So there are two types of IP addressing. One is private IP addressing, another is public IP addressing. Private IP addressing is used to connect your other virtual network, on-premise data center network, VPN gateway and express route. Private IP 100% free. It is 100% free, but private IP have limitation. You can't use internet with private IP. You can't connect your VM that have private IP from outside your network. Other hand, public IP address is 100% basically have a charge. There is a no free in private IP address. You have to pay for that. Private IP address support your internet and public facing services. So any VM you can assign private and public. Private IP address compulsory. You can't remove private IP address from your VM. Public IP address is optional. If you want, you can use. If you don't want, you can remove public IP from VM. You can create a public IP that have a different SKU like basic and standard. Basic public IP have lower cost, but there is a no high availability. In other hand, standard public IP address have more cost but give you high availability also. You can assign public IP address dynamic or static. Dynamic means your IP address might be changed after a couple of days. Static meaning your IP address will be permanent and same IP all the time. IP standard IP also have a zone redundant, and that's why it provide you high availability. Then you have public IP address. Public IP address you can assign to virtual machine, you can assign to load balancer, you can assign to VPN gateway and application gateway, and it is a dynamic in nature for VM as well as static also. Private IP address you can assign to virtual machine, you can assign to internal load balancer, and you can assign to application gateway. Virtual machine we already discussed. Internal load balancer and application gateway we will discuss later on. Then you have demo. We already know how to create a virtual network. Then we have network security group, NSG. Network security group is a logical firewall that you can assign to NIC of the VM, or you can associate to the subnet. It will control the traffic, incoming and outgoing traffic through your virtual machine that controlled by network security group. You can assign single network security group to multiple subnet or VM. These are the rules. Network security group have default 3 rule that have the priority 65,000, 65,001 and 65,500. 65,000 allow VNet inbound, and basically you can see you can't change as per this rule all communication allowed within your network only. All communication allowed within your network only. Rest all communication are deny or block. You can't connect your VM outside from your network. Right. So these are the default rule. You can't edit or delete this default rule, but you can create additional rule over that.
ठीक
Any other question?
नहीं मैं तो ठीक है
Okay. So you can assign the NIC on a subnet as well as VM also. So there are two NIC here in this diagram. You can see NIC 2, NSG2 that apply on the subnet, and NSG1 that apply on the NIC of the VM. So whatever the rule you have, that will be basically combined and cumulative. Like see here, if on a NIC I allow RDP, but on the subnet level I block it, block RDP, then what happen? If I block RDP on this subnet, then traffic enter into the subnet, sorry, traffic not enter into the subnet. RDP traffic will not enter. In that case, you can't able to take RDP of VM also. So if you want to take the RDP of VM also, you have to allow here also. Allow RDP on this level as well as allow RDP on this level, both. So an allow rule must exist at both level for traffic to be admitted. You must have allow on both NSG. Then only you can able to access the service. Otherwise, you will not able to access. Let's suppose you allow on the subnet, but you block on the VM. So again, traffic admitted in a subnet, but it will be block on the VM. Right. So you have to allow on both the places. If any places you have block, then you will not able to access your service.
but it is also possible that we block it on one of the VMs in a subnet but we allow it on another VM
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
same subnet.
Let's suppose here you have another VM, multiple VM you have. So here you can do the allow traffic enter, and you can able to access this virtual machine. You can able to access this virtual machine. But here I
Right,
have NSG1 that on this VM, so I can block here.
right.
Traffic admitted in a subnet access other VM but not able to access this virtual machine. Right.
Okay, right.
So whatever the VM you want, whatever the service you want to block, you have to create a separate NSG, and common services, common allow, you can allow on the subnet level. Create a subnet, apply NSG, allow common services. And if you want something blocked, create a separate NSG for that. Clear?
जी
Yes.
Then you have creating NSG rule. Select from a large variety of services. You can create NSG rule. You need to select the service, like which service you want, RDP, or you want to access FTP, or HTTP or HTTPS, you need to give the service name, port number, priority, and the name, and action, allow or deny. Then you have demo. Now, NSG is not a full-fledged firewall. NSG only work on the basis of IP address and port number. If you want to use full-fledged firewall, then use the Azure firewall. It is Azure native or cloud native firewall. It is a stateful firewall. It will manage full state. It means from the user to your VM session. It also give you high availability because it is a PaaS service managed by Microsoft. So Microsoft also give you high availability. You can create, enforce and log application and network connectivity policy. So here you can see in this diagram, you have a central VNet. Under the central VNet, you placed your firewall. That central VNet have a connectivity to on-premise and also have a connectivity to internet. And the same central VNet also connectivity to other Azure network, like this is a production network and this is your development network. So any traffic generating from production network that must go through the firewall to internet. Similarly, any traffic coming from internet that must go through the firewall. So by default, all incoming traffic are blocked here. By default, all incoming traffic are blocked. If you want to allow, you have to create the rule within the firewall. You can create a NAT rule within the firewall for network address translation. You can create an application rule to allow the application like HTTP or HTTPS. You can create a network rule to allow network service like DNS, DHCP like that. So this firewall give you security on a layer 3 as well as layer 7. Support hybrid connectivity through the deployment behind VPN and express route. Same implementing the firewall, same diagram in a different way. So you have a central or hub virtual network. Within that you have VPN gateway. It means VPN that have connectivity to on-premise. You have the firewall. You have the backend service also. All the common service you should place under the hub network. Then you have the spoke network like production or development. So all the communication from anyone coming from internet that must go through the firewall, all the traffic. Similarly, any traffic going to internet must go through the firewall. You can create a rule like a NAT rule, network rule, and application rule. NAT rule configure DNet dynamic network address translation, allow incoming connection. Network rule configure rule that contain source address, protocol, destination port, and destination address. It means which protocol you want to allow, DNS, DHCP, FTP. Then you have FTP is not a network. FTP is the application protocol. Application rule, you can configure fully qualified domain name like I want to allow yahoo.com, microsoft.com. That you can configure on an application rule. Then Azure review, then you have DNS. DNS is used to domain name system and it used to map your host name to IP address. On Azure, by default, we use Azure provided DNS. On Azure, by default, we use Azure provided DNS. Whenever you create your Azure subscription, Microsoft automatically create a default domain for you, and that is called domain name dot on microsoft.com. And I told you in the beginning that when you set up your Azure account, Microsoft give you one default domain, if you remember.
Yes.
So in this case, if I go to my intra ID,
It's AZTR.
yes, this is my email ID AJTR22 Outlook. So default domain will be AJTR Outlook dot on Microsoft.com. This is default domain provided by Microsoft. You can create a custom domain also. If you want, you can use the custom domain. Custom domain, which means different domain name you can use. But for that, you have to purchase the domain name. Okay, so you can see custom domain you can add like hcl.com, abc.com, all are the custom domain, right? But you need to purchase the custom domain if you want to verify. These are the unverified. I can't use it. I have added it, but I can't use it. So for that, first you need to purchase, then you can add a custom domain here.
ओके दैट्स इट फॉर द डे। सो आज हमने डिस्कस किया कि वर्चुअल नेटवर्क क्या होता है, सबनेट क्या है, एनएसजी क्या है, फायरवॉल क्या होता है, डीएनएस क्या है, ये सारा कुछ हमने डिस्कस किया। और अपने नेक्स्ट वीडियो में वी आर गोइंग टू सी द डेमो ऑफ वर्चुअल नेटवर्क। सो आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू कमेंट इफ यू वांट डिस्कस ऑन एनी टॉपिक and wait for my other video. In that video I will show you the demo on the virtual network and it will be very interesting, right? Thank you. As of now, like and subscribe. Thank you.